Hey everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina. A while ago I did a scrap room organizing video on my die storage, and I was just getting ready to do a little update on it. I had watched Jennifer McGuire's video on how she does her stamp storage, and she uses pockets that are similar to the ones that I use for my dies. These are clear CD sleeves that I got from Staples, and I just stuck a piece of paper in and used my label maker to write the name of the die and just stuck my die in, and on the back side I can throw extra pieces. And she uses ones for her stamps by, I think it was, isn't that terrible? Now I can't remember the name of it, but anyway, I'm not going to do that with my stamps because most of my stamps are in DVD and CD cases, and a lot of my stamps are actually stuck to CD cases because that's the way Paper Tray Ink provides them. Now I don't do that. I just stick everything right inside the case, and then if I ever want to change things. But like I said, most of my Paper Tray Ink ones from when I first started getting them are actually stuck to the CD cases, so I won't be switching that out. But one of her ideas, or one of her things that she does with her stamps, and she probably does it with her dies too, is to make little dividers. And I was using a die the other day, and I keep mine in alphabetical order because 90% of my dies are from Paper Tray Ink, and it took me a while to find the spot where that die went back in because I had to flip through and find the space. So just like this, this one is the desktop center die, and I have them, like I said, alphabetical. But stamps or die sets that are not by Paper Tray Ink, I have in the back here separated by the company, like my Nestabilities and such. Oh, I was looking for extra ones. Good. So anyway, actually here's a whole bunch of extra ones. Oh, I'm excited. So anyway, I thought I would show you quickly her idea and how I'm incorporating it into my die storage container, which you can check out that video, the one I did of my die storage. I'll leave a link in the description of this video, and if I remember I'll pop it on the screen here. So, but anyway, I will show you how I'm making the inserts for this. So this box is from Target, and I wanted to still be able to keep these dies that I have, my bigger ones that are tucked on the side. So I'm not going to make my dividers so they go straight across the whole thing. I'm just going to make them big enough that they're the 5 inches, which is the size of the CD sleeves. So they're 5 inches by 5 inches. So I'm going to do 5 inches by 5 1/4. So I have a little bit of a lip on the top where I can use my label maker to do the alphabet. So I started to cut these already, and I bought some folders from Big Lots for 48 cents in one of my favorite colors, this teal color. So I thought I would show you how I'm cutting these down to get the most out of the folder. You can get 6 dividers out of one folder. So let me just get this out of the way, and I will show you how I'm doing. So I'm using my bigger Fiskars rotary trimmer. I didn't want to use my desktop one because I didn't want to dull the blade out really quick, especially with cutting plastic. This one I usually use for chipboard and stuff like that. So let me show you first how to do this. How I was able to get 6 tabs or dividers out of this. So I have my folder closed, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this strip on the side here that has the holes that normally you would put into your binder. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off, and I'm sorry if things are really shaky. So I went ahead and cut that off. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the section with the pocket on the inside, and I'm going to cut this down to 8 inches. So what that does is it cuts off this little, let's see if I can move this a little bit. It cuts off that little folded flap that has like a double reinforced section there. So I'm going to cut that off. So that's the inside of the folder. So let me show you on an open one. So that's this flap right here that we're cutting off. So what that did was it cut off that section, and now this little flap opens up. So I can use this flap because of the size that I need. I'm going to slide it right in here, line this up at 5 inches. Try to line it up at 5 inches. And then what that's going to do is it's going to cut right where that fold is, where normally the flap folds up. So that gave me that piece, which is that pocket, and then I'm going to turn it and cut it at 5 1/4 inches, and that's going to give me my first little divider. Oops, it wasn't quite cut through all the way. So that gives me my first little divider. It does have a little nick right here, but that's okay because I'm going to round the corners. Then I have my other full piece, and it has that little fold end there. So what I'm going to first do is I'm going to cut this completely down to 5 1/4 inches. So 5 1/4. And then I'm going to turn it, and then I'm going to cut 2 of these out at 5 inches. So there's one at 5 inches. And another one. So out of one side of a folder, I was able to get 3 dividers. So let me just go ahead and do this other flap here. So I'm going to cut this down on the side that has that reinforced piece that holds our pocket together. Cut this down at 8 inches, and that cuts off that little piece here. Go. Then I open up my folder. I'm going to stick this in here and cut it off at 5 inches, which will take right before the fold. Then I'll turn it and cut it at 4 1/4 inches. And that gives me my first divider. I'm going to take my last full piece that I have left here. I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4. And then I'll turn it and do 5 inches. And that gave me, like I said, 6 dividers out of one sheet. So I think it's going to take me maybe 5 or 6 full folders to make my dividers. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way. What I do with these is, and this was also from Jennifer McGuire, was to round the corners. So I'm just taking my corner chopper, and I'm going to do it at the 1/4 inch side, and I'm just going to round all 4 corners. And then you can take your little CD holder here, and I could stick my first one right here in the A's. And then that gives me, and it's probably very hard to see, I'll take a photo of it so you can see it, but that'll give me just enough where I can put my label that has, you know, I could A, and then I could do the rest of them throughout. So once I finish up doing the whole thing, I'll come back and I'll show you what it all looks like, and I'll take a couple pictures to make it easier for you to see. Alright, so I went ahead and did all of my labeling. I have a little Dymo letter label maker, and I didn't mess with the settings. I probably would have made these a little bit smaller, but I'm fine with the size. It's just that to keep going back and resetting this is a pain, so it would have taken me much longer than it did. So it probably took me about a half an hour to print these all out and label each of the cards. But this is what it looks like now. I have all of my paper tray ink dies in order by A's, B's, C's, and so on. And in the back, I have a section here for nestabilities. And then I also made, my very last section, I made a section here for Lawn Fawn. I need to buy more of the CD sleeves to do my Lawn Fawn stamps or dies, but right now they're in with my stamp sets. So this little box here that I showed has these little compartments that pop out. And that's usually where I keep my larger border dies. They just kind of sit back here. And I took them out for the time being just so I could show you the sections a little bit better, so they kind of help make the things fall back a little bit. So, but they also keep those little dividers in the back keep these in, you know, standing up pretty good. And I keep this on a shelf, and on the side I have some of my larger dies, some of my larger nestabilities, and I have some Simon Says stamped in the side, and texture plates and stuff like that. So they're over here. So I'll insert a couple photos of what this looks like at different angles, and that's all. So I just want to share that with you again, that this idea came from a video that Jennifer McGuire did on her stamp storage, and I'll put a link to that video in her blog over, or down below in the description of this video, or over my blog if you want to check it out. And I'll also put all the supplies I used for this that I can link to on my blog as well. So, alright everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.